What's up, guys? Welcome back to Among the Fence. I am your host, Aaron, and on today's album review, we're going to be talking about the self-titled album by the band The Ghost Inside. And if you guys have an album you want me to review, go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know what it is, and I will make it happen for you. But if you do that, also don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notified when I do upload. That way, when I do review the album you request, you get notified and you can watch it. About a month or two ago, I did a review on a single release from this album, a song called Aftermath, which is basically about how the band got into an accident while they were touring. It killed two drivers that were involved in the accident. The band went through all kinds of different hurdles and things they had to overcome. The drummer ended up losing one of his legs, and they were just beat up and bruised, and they didn't know if they should keep going or not. And that is the reason why this album is such a big deal. One thing I noticed about this album is that it's very brawly. It's looking for a fight. It has its fists up. It is very aggressive. It's very in your face. And I think that portrays how the band was able to overcome just the tragedies that they had to overcome, because they had to just grab hold of life as tight as they can and push forward as hard as they can, and that is what brought them to where they are now. That's the main thing that makes me appreciate this album so much, is that there's so many bands and so many songs about someone who goes through a tragic time or something like that. And not to belittle any band or any musicians, things that they have to go through, personal stuff and all that, but they just become so woe is me, and they talk about how destroyed and crushed they are. But the Ghost Inside lost almost everything. I mean, they almost died. It was very brutal. It's a very big, bad car accident that they were in, and the drummer lost his leg, and instead of being like, nope, you know what, I can't do this anymore, he found a way around it, and he plays the drums on every one of these songs, and the drums are absolutely phenomenal. The drums are probably the best part about this whole album, and the drummer's only got one leg. Instead of rolling over and being like, we can't do this anymore, guys, like, we lost our drummer, got in a big accident, we're filled with anxiety and fear and just a lot of post-traumatic stuff we're dealing with, they were able to push forward and, like I said, just grab life as tight as they can, and they were able to make it. The intro to the song is a very short, in-your-face intro, and it chants TIG, which stands for The Ghost Inside, and it says, from the ashes brought back to life, and it's just chanting that about 2 or 3 times, and that is just, it's such a great metaphor. It's so great. It explains this band just perfectly. And it segues really well into the next song, Still Alive, which is kind of about the same thing. It talks about how they're able to overcome the stuff that they overcame, and they're still here, and the song's very inspiring, and the lyrics are just very determined. And the chorus is a little chanty here and there. I mean, it can become kind of cheesy, but then the second verse just brings it so hard, and it's so heavy, and it's just so juicy and good and great, and oh, it's just so good. But then you have songs like Overexposure, which kind of did the opposite for me. The verses were kind of generic and basic in terms of the riffs and the drum passages, but then once you get to the chorus, it really just brings it all together, because then he has his dirty vocals going on, and then you have the clean vocals, and it just, they play really well on each other, especially since the clean vocals are more background vocals, and they bring a lot more depth to the sound. And in the bridge, John Vigil, who does all the distortive vocals for the songs, he just brings it so hard with so much of passion and emotion in the bridge and the breakdown. And then you have Chris Davis, who does all the clean vocals and the rhythm guitar work, and they just mesh so well together. And The Ghost Inside has been around since about 2004, and you have songs like Outcast, which have a very old school kind of metalcore riff to them, especially in like 2005, 2006, kind of like As I Lay Dying kind of riff. But they add just little touches here and there to the riff to make it sound newer and fresher. That way it doesn't sound outdated and like something you've heard 100 times before from all the other metalcore bands out there. And also in the bridge and the breakdown of the Outcast, there's this melodic guitar playing in the background. It just sounds so freaking beautiful and epic. One song that caught me off guard was Pressure Point, because the Ghost Inside is considered a Christian band. I'm not really sure if they are anymore, but way back in the day, they were a Christian band. All the way up until 2016, their car accident, they were a Christian band. So since there's profanity in this song, they use the F word in the pre-chorus and the chorus. It just kind of caught me off guard a little bit. And I'm not like one of those people that are like, oh, Christians can't cuss and start judging people and this and that. I really don't care. I'm just saying it just caught me off guard. But I will say that for me, at least, reading the lyrics, it really pushed the emphasis of what the message of the song is trying to get across. At first, while reading the lyrics, I thought the song was about somebody holding him back, somebody who's still living in the past and who's being negative all the time and just not letting him move forward, not letting him grow, not letting him move past just the tragedies and the things he had to overcome. But as I started to read it more, instead of him talking to a person or about a person, it started to seem like he was maybe talking about his own fear and his own thoughts going on in his head. And he's just like, F off. Like, I need to move on from this. I need to get over this. And like, that's what really just like, it just brought it all together for me. Another song that caught me off guard was the song Unseen, which I thought it was going to be like an interlude, just instrumental kind of song, which I don't really mind instrumentals that much, but I really just don't like interludes. I feel like they take away from the album more than adding anything to it. But about a minute and a half into the song, where it's just all music, which is just very, very, very drum heavy. There's tons of just fantastic drum passages in the first part of this song. But then the vocals come in and just blow you away. The vocals from Vigil are very emotional and have tons of passion, and the lyrics are very just personal too. Like, he even starts asking, am I lucky to even be alive? And it just hits you so hard. When the song Phoenix Rise started, I already didn't really like it all that much. It felt like just very generic, basic riff, nothing really exciting going on with the drums. It was just very like middle ground to me. But then once it got to the chorus, like, I found myself starting to like it more and more. And then all of a sudden the bridge comes in, and the bridge is just so peaceful and just very gentle. It has a very clean, beautiful guitar tone, and the chord choices are fantastic. And coming from a song that had a lot of distortion and a lot of screaming, going into something like that, it just adds a whole nother element to the song. And it just, it makes you realize how much creativity and depth this band actually has. Like, once you start to get kind of tired of the monotony of their music, where it's just heavy and screaming and stuff, it's like, okay, this is kind of what these guys do. All of a sudden they do a song like this and you're just like, whoa, like they could do other things too. The only songs I really didn't like were the songs Make or Break and One Choice. And I know what you guys are going to say if you've listened to this album before. Those are the only two songs that have clean singing going on. And that's kind of why I didn't really like them. I don't know. I just don't really enjoy the vocal tone of the clean singing that's going on. And the song Make or Break started out with probably the best riff on the whole album. And once it gets to the chorus and the clean singing, it just, I enjoy clean singing. It becomes a little cliche when it's like distorted vocals in the verse and clean vocals in the chorus. It's been done so many times and it's so easy to get tired of it. But the only reason why I really didn't like it on this song is because it just brought the whole energy and the feel of the song. It just took it away from me. And on the song One Choice, the same freaking thing happens again. One of the best, juiciest riffs on the whole freaking album. And then you get to the chorus, and then out of nowhere there's clean singing, and mixed with the lyrics and the vocals of the clean singing and just the tone, honestly, it became kind of like cheesy and tacky to me. They're both good songs, but I felt like those were the two weakest songs on the album that didn't really carry the whole vibe and emotion and feel that the rest of the album was going for. Another song that was kind of just okay for me was the song Begin Again. Like, I enjoyed it a lot more than Make or Break and One Choice, but it was just different. It had a lot more dynamics to it, which is kind of weird because that's one reason why I didn't like it, but then that's also one of the main reasons why I did like it. Since it has so many dynamics, it was kind of refreshing to hear that song. Like I said, it breaks up the monotony of just heavy, distorted everything. And honestly, it's probably the most complex song on the whole album. It has tons of layers. And like I said, it's just so freaking dynamic. And it shows what the band can do. Like, not only can they be heavy and chug and scream and yell and just play everything really fast and really heavy, but they can also they can actually play their instruments. And my favorite song on the album is the last song, Aftermath, which I don't want to go into too much because I talked about it for like 7 or 8 minutes in a review before. But I just want to say that this song, since it's the closing song, it couldn't be any better. This is probably the most emotional song I've heard in a very long time. For this album, it's the ultimate closing song. It brings everything together. It wraps it up into a nice little package with a pretty bow, and it completes the whole thing. And not to mention the breakdown and the bridge on the song, and just the scream that comes after the bridge is just full of just so much so much feel. He's got so much feel in his vocals. And when I heard that single, I was like, yes, this is what I want the whole album to be. And they did a pretty dang good job at that. So with all that said, I gotta give the Ghost Inside's self-titled album a 8.5 out of 10. The Ghost Inside was kind of hard for me to give a rating because I wasn't really all that clear on how I felt about it. But then one thing occurred to me is that it's got something in it that literally everybody can enjoy. It has super heavy, very groovy parts. It's got stuff that's just strictly instrumental, and then it's got some atmospheric parts, and it's got some clean singing in the choruses for the people that like the more chanty, just fun songs. It's got songs that are very dynamic. It's got stuff that's just emotional. It's got literally everything in it. Also, what I noticed is that they do it all very well. It all fits together. It flows together beautifully, unlike some of the other albums that try to do the same thing, like the Amity Affliction that I reviewed. They were all over the place. When I just reviewed Silverstein, I think like a week ago, they were all over the place. And the Ghost Inside just knew what they wanted to do. They knew who they wanted to make the album for, what genre they wanted to be in. They had a very clear vision, and they executed it flawlessly. But I want to know what you guys think. If you listened to Ghost Inside's self-titled album, go ahead and leave a comment below letting me know what you thought. If you haven't, go ahead and give it a listen, or at least listen to Aftermath and a couple of the other songs, and let me know what you would rate it. And if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, feel free to go ahead and give it a thumbs down. But also leave a comment. Let me know why you think this album is either the greatest thing and I should have rated it higher, or let me know why it sucks and it deserves to get a 1 out of 10. Yeah, I'm just curious. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're all being safe. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time.
I was trapped in an ignorant kid relying on my parents said to save me. Years gone by, standing out, ignoring every day. Said to convict me. 17 at the top of my